So in today's video we are making these crazy cat eye pieces with regular resin and cat eye nail polish. Let's go. Right, we are back. Many of you saw the effects that I got using UV resin and these cat eye nail polishes, and many of you have asked for me to do this with 2-part regular resin. So it's not normally a common thing. You don't normally need to mix UV resin with normal resin. It can be done. This is a little bit different. So although these are UV activated, we can make them work. Now I've had a test run and I have cracked it, and here's how you do it. So we are using the Let's Resin collab resin as always for this kind of thing. Okay, my resin is now mixed. There are going to be some tips and tricks throughout this video, so be sure to hang around and see what they are. So the first tip is we need less bubbles for a start, but don't worry. We need to let the resin thicken. Now what you can do is pour it into your mould and then wait, or we can use the depth of our resin in this mixing cup as an advantage. But by doing that, you need to be very careful that you don't get a flash cure, because that is beyond the recommended depth for this resin. Now the timing of that thickening of the resin is going to differ depending on your room temperature and the depth that you've got mixed. So don't take your eye off the ball. Keep coming and checking it and making sure it doesn't thicken up too much. Now the other way of speeding this up, of course, is using a heat mat. But this again has its risk, because if you take your eye off the ball and come and check it, it can go from a very low viscosity to a rock hard state in a very short period of time. So just, I'll show you roughly the consistency and the viscosity of the resin when it's ready to drop our polishes. So we are now at the right viscosity to start dropping our polishes. Now the trick to this is to stir after each one, not after each drop necessarily, but we're just going to drop, say, just 2 colours in this one. Just 1 drop of each. I might get braver as we move on. And then stir it so that polish isn't all concentrated in one area. So that should prevent any blobbing. And then we move on. As always, massive shout out to my channel members. Anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. Thank you very much appreciated. What I might do is just carry on adding my colours. Many of you have got this set anyway, so I'm only using the colours from that 6 bottle set. Now what the magnet does with this is it pulls the polish in different directions, so it angles the tone so that in different lights it will reflect differently. So just play around with it and just see how it goes. So this one here I've gone in with a few colours, and you'll see the resin is really starting to thicken up now, which is really good because we're at less chance of it blobbing. I just wanted to show that one because it looks pretty promising. So I'm then going to take my magnet and just shift those colours roughly to the middle. So this next part is really important. We need to cover these so that the varnishes aren't going to cure in natural light before the resin does. And what we need to do is come back to them before the 2-part resin has set and cure the UV resin, because if we wait for the regular resin to set before curing the UV resin may pull away, it may not bond. I'm not 100% sure, but my gut is telling me to cure when the standard resin is still a little bit tacky but quite firm. Okay, so once your resin is firm enough, we can then just move our light over and cure each one. And there you can see what I was saying. UV resins shrink under UV light when they're being cured. So what it's doing is it's starting to shrink, but it's also clinging to the partially cured resin. And when I say partially cured, I can just touch this, only just. So that is going to bond absolutely fine. And if you have one of these, this should also work. So you could just aim it on each one. So you haven't got to go out and get one of these. They are very cheap though, and they're worth having. But you can get away with just doing this. And of course we do need to cure the underside as well. But what I'd do is wait for these to set hard. I'm going to back coat mine with some black mica powder. And once that layer has cured, we can then flip it and just make sure it's cured on the underside, just to be double sure. So I backed some with black. I'm going to try out a couple of different colours, maybe a fuchsia and a white. I'm not sure yet, but these are from the 36 ink 36 mica powder set from Let's Resin. Right, we're all done. So I did some in the eggshell as well. Let's see what we've got. I've tried to wait for the sun to come down a bit more so we get some better light, but there you go. I think the black's a little bit too overpowering, but look at that shimmer. I think depending on how much you put in as well, I didn't really put much in, but I don't think that black was a good choice. Still really, really nice. I think if I'd gone for the same as this one, the backing, it would have looked a lot better. So you could have just painted that on instead of topping up with black. Just play around with it and see what you get. Excuse me. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and if you haven't subbed, hit that button for me. Wow. That one's a lot better. And different light catches different colours. See, it can be done in regular resin. Obviously I haven't tested other polishes, but I would think it would be the same. As long as you cure from the underneath as well and don't put too much in, you should be fine. That is really cool. Very dark, but in the right light. That will catch some eyes. Be interesting to see what these ones come out like. Wow, that is much better. So I need to get the hang of the magnet, kind of working out the best placements, because you can make it go from completely nothing to something like that. That is crazy. Well, they're getting better. That one's good. Still very dark. Or maybe I've just got my brightness down on my phone too much. It's like a galaxy. I've got a bit of a thing for galaxies, haven't I? Let's go with the big oval. Hopefully. Wow. Look at that colour. That is crazy. I think if I'd have waited for the sun to come down a bit more. Let me try and find something. I don't know if this is going to work. I've got a mirror. I'm going to try and angle the sunlight onto the piece. Look at that go. That is insane. I wonder if I could incorporate this into alcohol ink work. Maybe do a back layer. Sorry about the focus. Oh, that is crazy. Something different. Let's go with a small black heart. Wow. So if I flip it upside down, it should show the other colours. Right, look at that shift. Let me know what one's your favourites in the comments. This one I had a bit of an overspill. We'll do this one next. There's not really anything showing in that one at all. Maybe I forgot to use the magnet. I can't remember. Oh well. Let's go with a small test piece. Wow. That mic is really, I think, overpowered that. Quite a bit. Let's see why they call it the cat eye. Ooh, blob there. There's a bit heavy in that middle area. Still, we could get some crazy 3D effects if we time it right. Yeah, I'm not overly fond of these ones at all. You can see it there more, but I just don't like the mix of the colour with the white background. Last one. Now that's better. I really need to play around with this more and find the right thing to use. I definitely think this one is the way forward because it really does catch eyes, and that's with the UV. So next time I'll try back coating them with that. But we still had some absolutely crazy pieces. Absolutely stunning. Right, that is the video done. I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.